Beautiful friends, welcoming you to today's Ascension Walk Series, episode number 16. And this one is dedicated in moving from knowing into being, the walk of beingness, to truly being in this space, especially when you're in the midst of complete, let's say, emergency or crisis situation. How do you go from what you know for embodiment that you got to apply, and then here's being, actually being it? So this is what I wanted to really speak to you about. And I wanted to first thank all of you who are returning back to my channel. Thank you so much, especially those of you who are leaving comments and giving my YouTube channel a thumbs up and also sharing it. I really, really thank you, because it really does make a tremendous contribution for the algorithms to share my video, especially this is an embodiment series and most people are not creating videos about embodiment of our ascension. So I really appreciate your support in this. Also, those of you who are new, welcome. Thank you so much. I am the founder of Ascension Alchemy Association, which is a private member association. And also I am an author, speaker, healer, internationally known, and I am dedicated to this walk of ascension embodiment. That's where I'm focused, embodiment of this Christ light. There's one thing again to know it, there's a whole nother thing to be it. So this particular one that I wanted to address is, again, everything that I share is based on direct personal experience and how I'm navigating some of these very interesting areas of walk of life, and for it to become a mechanical, attainable, achievable, kind of like very tangible walk, not just stay in the etheric plane. So again, there's something to know. There's something to know. So let me speak of this part of knowing. There's something to know where you have to release resistance. And to release resistance is one thing. The other part of it is to actually live from that non-resistant state. So this is where I wanted to get into, because this is a conversation that I had with Michael with a very difficult family situation that we are moving through. So, for example, to know that there's a knowing that my human self is experiencing resistance in this moment. And there's enough awareness through my I am presence that I must release the resistance, because I'm not allowing the fullness of that I am presence to flow through me. So I know this, I'm aware of it. And yet here, my human self is in this situation. And within this situation, what is happening is my other bodies, the mental body, the emotional body, the physical body is experiencing the resistance that is ready to be met, because the awareness knows it needs to release it. Yet these bodies also have a desire to release it, but they don't know how to release it just like that, because it's first associated with some of these thoughts that were sometimes formulated from a place of hurt or from a place of the situation, whatever the situation took place, the emotions were stored up. So some of these emotions that are typically heavier are then trapped in the physical body. So they are stored in the mitochondria. This is, side note, this is why one of my most advanced ascension, alignment, master transformation healing is around this, because I found a lot of people can't get to this place on their own. They need a little help. And that's where I help, because I've learned the mechanics of how this dynamic is. So coming back to the mitochondria within the body, a lot of these emotions have been stored in the mitochondria. So when they're stored in that, they can't just be released, and these usually go back to childhood. So they play out continuously through a signal within the inside frequency that is signaling outside. So then similar situations keep presenting themselves so that the individual becomes aware and chooses to be able to release this, go through the healing of transformation so that it can transform out of the body from that density into its light and be out of the field, be out of the biosphere. But it doesn't work just like this unless the individual completely moves 100% into that great I am. Instantly it releases, and that's what we call miracles. So coming back to here, on most individuals who are on this embodiment walk, they're working through this, and it's kind of like, it's very much like as if they're knots and you're untying the knots. That's literally what is taking place. So going back to resistance, when you are releasing, you want to release some resistance within your three bodies, so that way you release it out of your physical body. It is so important when you are inside the situation to take pauses and breathe and be able to fill yourself with the light of light streams from your mighty I am presence, God presence. When you're in the situation I'm speaking about, and you're in the thick of it, because right there you cannot process the emotions, you can't process the thoughts, because the thoughts are magnetically drawn to each other, and the emotions are heavier, and it's sitting in your field, so it's heavier, it's not moving as easily. If you're able to get up to start doing jumping jacks, it starts to disperse it at least. If you can just say, you know what, everybody just give me a minute or whatever, if you have the ability, go out and run around for like 2 minutes. It starts moving the energy out of the body, and then the flow of light starts coming in. And if you're blessed enough to be able to say, like, for example, I said, you know, I need this morning until this time, I'm off. I need to take more care of myself. So I was able to, for example, go to the ocean, go for a long walk, listen to the music that I needed to, the meditation deeper breath. So I was able to then allow the process to move itself out of my field. And then what happens is that awareness of the resistance that I have becomes accessible in my bodies to become non-resistant. So for example, when the call from the hospital came today, a few hours later after I was able to take care of this, my human self was able to be more in a non-resistant state. And I was able to address the call from that place. So again, there's one thing to know something. There's a whole nother mechanic to actually being it. And the beingness doesn't happen overnight, although it can, but often for most of us, because of our human experience, we're much more in a resistant state, it doesn't automatically take place. Those of us who've been much more attuned to our I am presence daily, several times a day, the muscle has become much more refined. We can drop in quicker and allow these bodies to go back into the right structure and harmonize, so that electrical flow begins to flow back in the body easier. And of course, those of us who are like drinking, molecular, quantum molecular hydrogen water really helps, because that's like the liquid light we're drinking. And you can see in the bottom of my video information, and I use the code to get your own why I drink that level of supreme water in my body, so things can move through much faster. So to go from knowing to beingness, and an example of this, from resistant to a non-resistant state, it is truly an art, and it is a walk of mastery, because the awareness kicks in each part multidimensionally. We're seeing ourselves, we're meeting ourselves, and we have to meet these thoughts that created these emotions that were heavier, and these thoughts that were heavier also need to be replaced by a better thinking thoughts, so that way we can have better feeling emotions. Thus, as a result, our physical body also releases, like, I'm going to be going to the massage after this to get a full body massage, because that's one of the, whenever I go through major things, I first go get a full body massage, so then my physical body also releases, and then I'll be at the gym. So the gym is fantastic, where I get to truly move things, also push them out of my physical body through the breath, that breath that I pour into it. And especially when I'm doing weight training, it makes a huge difference. A lot of times on the Ascension Walk series, all the consciousness is on the outer body, and it's on the, again, etheric plane, and individuals are not bringing it into the body and to ground it in the body. So when we talk about embodiment, it must be embodied. That means you got to bring it to the body. That means you have to really bring it to your physicality, so it becomes super vital. You take care of your physicality at the best you possibly can. And especially going to the gym. If you are, whether you are in a male form or female form, especially those of us who are going through, they start that menopause journey. I call it mini pause, the mini pause, because there are a lot of pauses along the way because of the awarenesses you're going to have along the way. And this is a several year span, from premenopause to perimenopause to menopause and postmenopause. It's a major life change. I'm going to do a full video on that, especially because what happens in our brain and the chemistry in our brain and the way the changes happen in the body. And it is such an important part of the Ascension as well, because, again, going back to the body, embodiment. So when we are moving from knowing to being, the beingness has to be embodied. That means that awareness has now become truth within the body. So the body, the 50 trillion cells, recognizes it and begins responding. Therefore, that great I am awareness is unified from its grand infinite self to the finite self, which is the individual. And this is what I really wanted to bring into the awareness on this episode number 16. What an art this is, what a mastery it is, what of the toughest walks it is to take, yet it is also truly rewarding on many levels, because there's a lot of freedom that comes with this when we can move into the walk of the embodiment. But from the knowing to the embodiment, that period is a very challenging, and I call it kick-ass, because it really, it's difficult. We're meeting discomfort, we're meeting areas we don't want to meet. It's from our childhood, from our teenagers. It's like another layer, and you think, oh my gosh, I went through all of this. What is this? I've already cleared this. And then yes, you have cleared it, but ooh, there's more. Are you ready to clear up now this mess? And you can't deny it either because you know you got to do it. You can't escape it. And in order for the divine presence to take the wheel, these dirts have to be cleared. You have nowhere to go but to be. And to be, to move into the beingness, that means, okay, let's start clearing the mess that was created for me, by me, and by the circumstance that I chose, that I'm not a victim of any of it. My soul chose to go through all of it, even the most difficult one. So here I am. I am, and from this I am within this body, I will and I can handle and take charge of this so that my divine sovereignty truly leads the way. So hopefully this makes sense. And for those of you who need some assistance, this is the area that I feel I can really assist with Ascension alignment. It is over 3 sessions. I really assist in this area because it's an area that I'm very passionate about, where I'm really focused for those who are truly dedicated to the embodiment of their ascension and this level of mastery, because it's no joke. Most people give up when they come here. It's not a walk for everyone, and that's okay. And yet, those that know it is, they could use some assistance. So there are 2 ways. One is from Ascension alignment, and the other one is sometimes I just have to do a spiritual guidance, just to like 30 minutes weekly for 6 weeks, just to help them navigate through this, because it just gets very sticky if they can't move through it right away. So let me know. You can always reach out to me at honeybee, HONIB 1111 at gmail.com. And I love being a witness to your expansion, to your liberation, to your natural divine joy, to your just that breath of ease, like you were able to be on the other side of it. And from there, you will be assist others in your own way, not the way that I'm doing it, in the way that feels called to you, because each individual has their own experience, life experience that divine is blessing them to experience, so that direct internal wisdom becomes a body of knowledge that you can then share with others. So anything that I share is from direct experience, the last particularly 12 years after my NDE, just so that I've navigated those realms, and I can assist you by being able to sort of like be a guidepost along the way, but you still have to go through it. So the work is always together. I cannot do it for you, but I will walk with you. So it's up to you. Anyway, much love. And I look forward into hearing your comments and your questions, as well as anything else you want to share. And I'll share the next episode next Wednesday with you. Have a beautiful, blessed day, and so much love.